Hello and welcome to day 2 of our live builds. Last time we ran out of credits on our lovable free account, but we did go a long way to building our ChatGPT clone. As you can see, we've got our chat window. We have a selector that can choose which LLM we want to use, and that's preloaded with a couple of default ones here. We also had our second settings page where we can save our OpenRouter API key. So if we go in here and go, hello, you'll see that Lovable has given us a simulated response. So in other words, we haven't actually got our connection through to OpenRouter yet. So we're going to go down to Lovable and ask it to just add OpenRouter support. So after a few minutes, Lovable tells us that it's successfully connected to the OpenRouter API. We can test it out. Just see if we get a different response this time. Using OpenAI GPT-4 Turbo, how can I assist you today? So we're getting some of a response. Let's test it with something better than hello. Capital city of Australia is Canberra. Okay, now the interesting thing here, and this is the mistake that a lot of people make when they're using connections with APIs. Lovable has implemented this all on the front end. So it's all in our React application. And we can confirm that by actually going through and seeing what it's created. And if we have a look at the edits, they're all front-end components. What we actually want it to do, so that our API key is not exposed to the world, is we want to actually ask it to use a Supabase edge function to perform this. Move the functionality to Supabase. And as you can see, Lovable doesn't care about my bad typing. Okay, so as you can see, again, after a couple of minutes, it's created our edge function. And you'll actually see here, and you'll get this quite a lot when you're working with AI coding tools. This is actually better for security. So we have our Supabase function that's going to go through OpenRouter, and it will store our API key in Supabase instead of needing to have it in our front end. Okay, so now that we have our OpenRouter API hooked up, one of the things we need to test is, are these things saved? So easiest way, I guess, to do a refresh. And as you can tell, our chat was not saved. So now we want to tell it to actually start saving our chats. You'll notice that now Lovable has actually finished creating the hooks required to save our chats. We have no new conversations. It's cleared out the mock data, and it's created this little lovely screen for us to actually start doing something. What we'll also test at the same time is, let's change to another type of LLM, and let's another model, and let's see what we get differently. Asking all the hard questions today. Okay, so that's interesting. So it's given us this, please select or create your conversation first. Okay, we could change that and just get it to create a conversation on the fly, which would probably be more natural. So we're going to automatically create a conversation. And boom, we've hit our limit for the day. Okay, here we are, day 3 of our ChatGPT clone. We have got our renewed credits, so hopefully this will be the last time we need to look at this code before we can deploy it and really give it a thorough testing. So today the only thing we have left to do, we have these rename thread and delete thread buttons that relate to these conversations. They're not quite obvious over there, and they're also called threads instead of what we've got here is conversations. There's also no way to go back to the home page. It could be a little bit annoying. I wonder if the small things like the plus button for a new thread should probably be a bit more evident. But look, let's start with renaming and deleting and go from there. So we're going to jump into our lovable prompt and say add functionality to the rename and delete thread buttons. And we want to be safe, so we're going to include a dialog confirmation. Okay, it looks like we're done. So our buttons should work. Let's go into our new conversation. Okay, so when we change, we're not seeing the change immediately in that window, but we are seeing it in the list. So we can just ask Lovable to fix that. But there we go. We have pretty much resolved everything. We've got a few credits left, but that's probably good enough to say, you know what, that's good to go. There's no API keys saved in our code, so we're safe enough to deploy that now. And we'll just hit the button here, and it's just going to publish it under the lovable app domain. So we'll just give that a go. So there we go. We've got our app published on the world, ready to go. I'll include the source code link in the description, as well as the link to this app where you can play through. You jump in, feel free to sign up, have a look at it. But there you go. With 3 days worth of free tokens, we've been able to build our clone of ChatGPT, working on multiple LLMs.